Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. We are ending the day on all positive news. This is a complete hammer, a demolition of the Democrats and facts, sober truths about why Trump's MAGA movement, his brand, and therefore America is in good hands for tonight. Let's get to the news. First, the best news, and we're going to end on the best news of all, which is that Trump is keeping his cabinet. There, look, I just gave away the entire ending. 8 million years from now, I'm giving it to you now. But first, we're going to nail the Clintons for a second with Rep. James Comer. Indeed, we started this news cycle yesterday, and now it is continuing to blossom to come to fruition against the Clintons. Rep. James Comer, Democrats and Republicans, bipartisan, approved subpoenas in July for Bill and Hillary Clinton. So both parties agreed to it. After good faith efforts to schedule depositions, further delays aren't acceptable. Given their Epstein ties, avoiding Congress would be in defiance of subpoenas and warrant contempt proceedings, which is what Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro went to prison for. This is your best shot of sending Bill and Hillary to prison. Your best shot. And they have to do it. There's precedents for it in Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. So the Democrats are going to have to admit that we're using two-tiered justice system if we let Bill and Hillary off. They also have to admit that Bill and Hillary are above the law, that it was a lie when they said nobody is above the law. But here's the most important one. Bill and Hillary Clinton have to both agree to being interviewed, okay, under Congress. Why? The Democrats have to vote for it because they intend to do the same thing to Trump. If Trump is in the files, they're going to subpoena him and march him before Congress and try to embarrass him with the Epstein files. Now, how are they going to look if they don't force Bill and Hillary to come in for their depositions, right? If they say, we're Democrats, we're not going to vote for Bill and Hillary, subpoenaing them before Congress. And then if however Bill and Hillary act and however the Democrats treat them, Trump will be able to say the same thing. He'll go, fine. How about I don't come in and testify? What are you going to do to me? What you did to Bill and Hillary, you're going to let them off? So the Democrats are going to be forced to prosecute Bill and Hillary and nail them with the harshest contempt of court, knowing that's their only shot of making it apply to Trump later. So James Comer is setting a absolutely brilliant trap. I hope you guys can appreciate this kind of strategy work by someone as brilliant as James Comer. Here's more strategy work from Rep. Nancy Mace. This is under Trump calling out those traitors that were telling our military to disobey unlawful orders. And Trump said they must be arrested and put on trial. This is brilliant of Trump, of course, because he has changed the news cycle and gotten it off of Epstein, which was his wish. He did his all caps death penalty for these people. And lo and behold, he is still wielding the media like a madman. Here's Rep. Nancy Mace with the simple facts. President Trump is the duly elected commander-in-chief. So she's doing Republican branding here. Republicans have circled the wagons around Trump. They're not throwing him under the bus for calling for treason charges against those 8 people, including Mark Kelly out of Arizona. He's the duly elected commander-in-chief. This ongoing seditious conspiracy to undermine his authority is an act of war against the Constitution itself. They should all be investigated and charged for violations of 18 U.S.C. 2387. Every tool of justice should be on the table. All Nancy Mace is saying is 18 U.S.C. 2387. Why are the Democrats against Trump stating facts of what our U.S. code already says? USC, U.S. code. It's already in our U.S. code. Trump's just repeating it. This is treason. Now, why did these Democrats not, under Joe Biden, why did these Democrats not tell all of their military people for 4 years under Biden or 4 years under Obama to disobey an unlawful order? Why didn't they do a public service announcement? In fact, why didn't Republicans do that against Obama and Biden? Because it would be obvious what they're doing. And they're putting our military servicemen in danger because they're inspiring some of the Democrat members of the military to go, I disagree with the commander-in-chief. I'm going to disobey the highest command. Maybe they'll even act out in violence. You know, George Washington had a man publicly hanged for treason. So Trump is once again acting just like George Washington, the father of our country. I don't hear the Democrats going around calling George Washington a deranged lunatic, a totalitarian, the father of our country. Here's Richard Grinnell on Jessica Tarloff just said the DNC raised $75 million so far this year, as if that's a good thing. Guys, it's nothing. It's nothing. By the way, Richard Grinnell, imperfect follower of Christ, he says. The Kennedy Center, Trump's Kennedy Center, raised $117 million so far this year. What is that? That's over $40 million more than the Democrat Party has raised for their entire party. Trump's Kennedy Center, where they put on plays and Christmas plays. People are giving more to the Kennedy Center than the Democrat Party. Say it louder for the reporters in the back. And that's why we're promoting this on our channel. Here's the New York Times. Short on cash, the DNC took out a $15 million loan in October. The move, unusual for a year without midterm or presidential election, is the latest sign of financial distress for the Democrat Party. Speaking of, here's the Fugees rapper, Praz Michael, sentenced to 14 years in prison for illegal donations to the Obama campaign. He was laundering money to the Fugees. Wasn't Lauryn Hill, the lovely Lauryn Hill, in that band too? Now here's someone unlawful, Jasmine Crockett. Oh dear, we're going to need a translator for this one. I don't speak Ebonics, so I'm going to have to get, if any of you speak it, you'll have to do your own Google Translate. But here's Jasmine Crockett, just sour and awful and in your face, defending Plaskett for texting with Jeffrey Epstein.
Because I'm sorry, but we don't have ethical rules that say that you can't receive text messages or you can't respond to text messages, especially if somebody has a certain record and you can't do it in committee. We all be sitting on our phones. And yes, people be texting.
People be texting. I don't know what language that is. Maybe you guys can help me. See, I'm white and I don't understand. I can't dance and all those other stereotypes. We're kind of uptight. I used to love when black comedians would go like, black people be all, and they go, and you white people, you all be, and we're always all anal and all, eating our Greek yogurt, We be all texting all time.
Our staff texts us, everybody texts us, people. I remember when I had the bleach blonde situation, who was texting me? My pastor. Okay. So let me be clear. There is no ethical violation. And so the idea.
No one is saying it's an ethical violation. Well, so there are some saying that it was illegal for Plaskett to be texting on the House floor. The ethical violation is who she was texting. It's like she's texting like Hitler is Epstein. Not that she was texting, who she was texting while they're trying to get Trump in a hearing.
Or the audacity to decide that you want to strip a black woman of her committee assignment.
Oh, it's a black woman. Now we get it. They want to strip a black woman. They don't want to strip the Republican black women, so it can't be because of her race. It can't be because she's black. Can't be because it's a woman either. Lots of women not getting stripped. Why? Gee, Jasmine, the only reason to strip Plaskett is because she's a black woman? Really? Is that it? Is that why we got her? If that was true, we'd have stripped, Maxine Waters of any committee assignments a long time ago.
Because she was texting with Epstein.
Yeah, there you go. She was texting Epstein. Now, call me crazy, but that might have something to do with it, Jasmine. And now a word from our sponsor, Chapter. Guys, I'm super excited about always telling you about Chapter. You guys hear me do this once a day, and it's because I'm trying to get you help. I think a lot of you are confused about Medicare. I think a lot of you are being scammed about Medicare. And so I hope you'll call my buddies at Chapter. Let's see, that's 631-961-8696. They put that phone number together just for me and this channel and for my audience. And And I hope you'll give it a call because they'll help you. They will talk to you. You can bleed them for information. I've had people sit on the phone with them for an hour and just get information about Medicare from them, and then all done. And Chapter does not mind because they're here to help you with your information. So Medicare annual enrollment is right now till December 7th. When December 7th hits, the phones are going to clog like Fonnie Willis's toilet. Now, here's one of you with a message. It's cute. Holy moly, it's Jasmine Crockett. Ouch, sorry to do that to you people. Here's one of the messages that came from one of you just yesterday. Thank you. I took their number down and will give them a call tomorrow morning. Smart little patriot. You guys know this. Take the number down now. You write it down, 631-961-8696. And call in the morning when their phones tend to be more open and over the weekend. Weekend morning, sometimes you can get in 5 minutes. Anyways, make sure you call that number 631-961-8696 and tell them Doug in Exile sent you. So Chapter loves me bigger. And now back to the show are the biggest news of all, the worst, most horrific clip I could find on with Jasmine Crockett. This one is just so brutally racist and nasty that I'm here to make fun of her.
They not even going, honestly, they're about to outlaw the idea of white supremacy and white hate. Like they are about to be like, oh, that's not a thing.
Okay. This is the conspiracy. You know, everyone loves conspiracies these days. It's all the rage. It's in the buffet. Everyone's going for it. Like fried chicken at Hometown Buffet. Everyone dives, or crab legs. Everyone goes for the crab legs. Everyone's going for a conspiracy, including this gal. White people, we're trying to end the idea of white supremacy. I will say I barely know any white people that actually think of their race as anything significant. I don't think I know of anyone. They just wouldn't be my friend. But she acts like, there's a demon under every doily. You turn a doily, like, there's a demon. There's a witch. Burn the witch.
Forget the fact that you're talking about getting rid of like the classification for nooses in a time in which we have seen these random Black bodies be strung up down south.
Where the hell is this woman talking about? Where did I miss that? There's random Black bodies being strung up in the South. This reminds me of like cattle mutilations with UFOs. Somewhere in the news, you guys, do you think the news would cover it? Do you think the National Democrat News, MSNBC, do you think they might cover a story if they found a random Black person hanging from a noose in the South? She acts like it's happening all the time, all those times. Now, this is what a race-baiting liar is. And she's not cruel to white people. I can take it. She's cruel to Blacks. She's cruel to her constituents who believe her, give her credibility, and swallow her lies. She wants Blacks in her constituents in Texas to believe that it is a common known fact that Blacks are found hanging from nooses all around the South just this week. This is a monster. That is a monstrous thing to do, especially if people are ignorant or who knows what. This is terrible. How dare you do that? And implied, she wants Blacks to think that whites are regularly today hanging Blacks all around the South. I don't know why it's not on the news. She would probably tell you because a bunch of whites control the news is why they're covering it up. That's the conspiracy.
Also, seemingly at a time in which you're back in office, because what you do is you embolden the hate. You embolden everybody to take off their hoods. That is what he has done. He is the one.
Hoods worn by Democrats, Southern Democrats. She's saying that it's Trump who emboldens people to take off their hoods and start hanging Blacks. So this is an anti-Trump thing there. She's trying to shore up the Black vote that went overwhelmingly for Trump, and now using weirdo lies and frankly racism against whites, because it's a claim that whites are more likely to hang Blacks,
that is producing this violence. Listen.
Okay. Now on Trump and those seditious conspiracy claims, I'm going to bring up Cuomo here because I like it when a Democrat like Cuomo, he basically agrees with Nancy Mace that Trump is just repeating the law.
Right or wrong? This? Wrong. All day long. He's MAGA. Shut up.
I like when he tells them shut up.
This is the truth. Okay? Saying what they said is not even close to illegal.
That's right.
It is not even close to any legal or logical definition of treason.
Not true.
And if you watch this show, I said last night when it came out, it was wrong to put the duty to check a president on the troops. It's on you. You have a constitutional duty. What an ugly irony that it's members of Congress asking this. It should be citizens who might be asking that.
Of Congress. In other words, Congress isn't doing their job. But Trump is just stating a fact of what treason is.
You were supposed to check. It's why you raised your right hand. But what is it about now? They're looking for a fight.
That's right.
Why? Because you want them to.
So this is wisdom. He may have been wrong about Trump being wrong about, saying that this is illegal because it is treasonous in my view, but that doesn't matter. The bigger picture is none of them are going to get nailed for treason. This is a cultural branding issue. And that's what Cuomo is settling on. And by the way, this did get everyone off of Epstein, which is why I believe Trump did it, this was a wise move. He's wielding them like a sword.
Because you want a muscular response to Trump. You want him to stop walking all over you. You want him to stop getting away with everything and him calling the game all the time and controlling everything. You want a muscular response.
So listen, all those Democrats that came out and told the troops to disobey unlawful orders, that was purely politics against Trump. Politics to weaken Trump, politics to try to manipulate the votes. And Cuomo agrees. He's just now saying it. You want to weaken Trump. It is not because you think that military and FBI agents and stuff are receiving illegal orders. You did it as a giant marketing campaign. That's why they paid for a tight, well-edited, well-lit video and released it online. This is branding. And then Trump counter-branded against them, going, you committed treason.
That's why you want Newsom on Twitter, acting like fools. We're all acting like fools.
Fact.
Why? Because I guess we don't know any better anymore.
That's right.
But I know we're playing with fire. Yeah. And I know worse is to come on this course.
Fact.
I don't like it. I don't want it. I will leave my family. I will enter unsafe conditions to cover it. But if we don't reset and fast, we are asking for big trouble.
Now, he's warning about the escalation of political violence of Democrats versus Republicans. Democrats started it. Democrats continue it, especially as they're losing. They're continuing to expand their attacks on Republicans. And then Republicans are merely responding. That doesn't give us a pass. I don't think it's going to be an excuse, because if we go into a big civil war, and he's right with the warning, things have escalated, I would say, since Obama. I believe Obama, maybe even Clinton started it. Maybe even Joe Biden in the high-tech lynching that was never done before with our Supreme Court with Clarence Thomas might have started the whole thing. It's the breaking of rules and norms and manners. And I'm not judging. You guys know I have a mouth on me. I'm not coming as a Puritan, as a perfect player in this going, I would never make an ad hominem attack. I love making ad hominems attack. It's almost all I do. But the Democrats are not honest brokers. They don't deserve when they debate, they're not debating as an honest broker. And here's one example. Did you know Jim Jordan was also spied on? New name released, not just Ted Cruz, Marsha Blackburn. Jim Jordan had his phone spied on by Jack Smith, Merrick Garland.
We know they spied on President Trump. Then we learned it's senators and the Speaker of the House. And now we learned they were spying on me for 2.5 years. I mean, think about 2.5, all the way back, as you said, to January of 2020. They gathered information that told them who I called, who called me, when we called each other, when the call took place, how long the call was, and where I was at when I made that call. They got your location as well. And
So he could have been at a bathhouse and they can get him. See, and the Democrats would use that information against him. He could be in a church. He could be in a private right-wing meeting. And also who called him? Innocent people, family members, friends, political activists. His stock trades would all be in those files. And the Democrats had the upper hand on him.
Gathered that for over a time period of 28 months. This is how ridiculous this is, and why we are doing everything to get to the bottom. You're right. I bet there's a bunch of other members of Congress, a bunch of other citizens like you all over this country that they were looking into, because this is the epitome of the weaponization of government against against the other party. President Trump, Republican, all the senators, the Speaker of the House, Republican, and of course the top Republican on the Judiciary Committee.
100%.
That's how ridiculous this whole thing is.
So if Cuomo's warning about escalating violence, who started the spying on a political opponent? We have no record ever of a Republican doing it to a Democrat. Democrats weaponize the government against the Republicans. Here's AG. Harmeet Dillon works for Pam Bondi. Therefore, she's a hammer. We love her. This is based on the mayor-elect has discouraged the language used at last night's protest and will continue to do so. This is Mayor Mamdani has discouraged his socialist Muslim constituents from using intimidation, promote activities in violation of international law. Mamdani spokesman Dora Pekic tells me the mayor-elect, quote, has discouraged the language used at last night's protest and will continue to do so. That's a typical Democrat response. Just like with Brandon Johnson when that girl got burned on his train in Chicago. He goes, this is a one-off incident. We condemn this act. Of course you condemn this act, you dummy. And now Mamdani says, we discourage using these phrases. What are the phrases? In response to demonstrators outside of Park East Synagogue, we covered this yesterday because we only have the important news, the news that matters, who chanted death to the IDF and globalized the Intifada, globalized genocide of the Jews, river to the sea. All the socialist Mamdani says of New Yorkers is, hey, please don't do that. Now here's Harmeet Dillon. It's a federal crime to block access to a house of worship in the U.S. The Muslim socialists were blocking access to a synagogue in New York. Civil rights, she's a civil rights expert, and AG Pam Bondi will not tolerate it, and we are gathering information about this incident. So now we're gathering information against Mamdani's supporters. Where else are the Muslim pro-Palestinian imbeciles? Here's physically assault. This is a guy from Turning Point, UK, physically assaulted at the Turning Point stand on the LSE campus. We were simply trying to debate, yet several masked men kept approaching throughout, doing everything they could to shut down a fair discussion. This is the state of tolerance in our universities. Now watch this. He said F you, and they tore down his TPUSA, Turning Point USA sign. That's campus security.
You're on camera.
And there they are with the kafila. There's the scarf. Cover the face. They don't want to be seen. They're not proud of what they're doing. They know they're terrorists. These are terrorists. This is a terrorist group. But look at these stupid Scooby-Doo Comic-Con idiot performance artist cosplayers on campus. These people, they wouldn't bust a grape in a food fight, to quote Jay-Z. And they have their Palestinian flag. They're trying to erect it in front of Turning Point. Plastic. And all they can do is chant like an idiot. Look at the fold marks in the flag. They just pulled that one fresh out of the wrapper. Where did they buy this from? Mecca Target?
I think we should stay here just to see what happens.
We are zombies. We repeat each other. It's like the 60s. They can't make an argument. So three of them dressed up, take out a flag. I don't see TPUSA pushing back on them and acting violent like Muslims do, Muslim radicals do in front of synagogues and shutting them down. I've never seen Turning Point go and gather up 1,000 students and shout down a minority of Muslims or pro-Palestinians. You never see Jews do it. I've never seen Christians do it. I've never seen Jews do it. I see Muslims do it, Democrats do it, socialists do it, Marxists do it, always from the left.
Well, this is fun. Well, I honestly think that if they're just going to do this,
These are, by the way, these are all rich white liberals at their university. This is what their parents are paying for. Now, on the opposite end of that is the lovely Nicki Minaj, who we showed yesterday, went to the UN on behalf of Nigerian Christians being slaughtered by Muslims.
Especially as artists and people in entertainment, I think it sometimes can feel scary to speak up about anything.
She's a rap artist in entertainment. Now, why is Nicki Minaj worried about her career and afraid of defending Christians being slaughtered in Nigeria. And she's starting to get hatred. From who? Always from the left. She's afraid of her career.
That may not be the norm or the popular thing to speak about.
Yeah, it's not normal or popular to say you cannot kill Christian women and children and take 28 Christian little girls as slaves. That's not normal or popular in rap music or in music in general or on Entertainment Tonight.
If something is popular, I care about what rings true to me, to people who are going through hard times right now in Nigeria. I hope that when they see this being done, that it makes them feel heard, that it makes them feel like, okay, someone cares.
Someone here cares and remembers. She's the only one. Nicki Minaj, a foul rap artist, is the only one defending these little girls and women, Christians in Nigeria. My brothers and sisters in the Lord over there. Thank you, Nicki Minaj. May God bless you and multiply you for your good work. And she's afraid for her career because Democrats hate Christians, hate women, and hate children. Never put an X next to a Democrat. Here's Josh Hawley on his faith.
Are we willing to be radical? Are we willing to come and to say, I'm going to surrender my claim to my own life? I'm going to surrender my claim to, I want to live my life this way. This makes me happy.
Who's walking that right now? Is not Nicki Minaj walking that right now? I surrender my claim to my life. I put my life at risk for the Lord.
Therefore, I'm going to do it. I feel like I'm entitled to this. Those are the things that our flesh naturally says. Our culture tells us, oh, absolutely. Stand on your rights. Say that, this is what makes me happy. Therefore, I have a right to do it. We just don't live that way as Christians. I mean, that's not how we live. We come and say, no, actually, it's not about me first. It's about him always. And I give the whole of myself to him.
Yeah.
He takes all of it and transforms it into his image.
Yes.
So it's the conversion of the whole man, top to bottom, head to toe, every part of your life. And I just think that's the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
If you're still paying for your own sin, I feel bad for you. There's a death sentence on you, on all fallen people, and Jesus will pay for what you did. And I got bad news. Either someone's going to pay for what you did with a death sentence before God. Jesus doesn't save you from the devil. He saves you from God's wrath. God punishes the devil. God punishes sin. God is the authority. And so we have breached, we are out of favor with God. And Jesus purchases us, that is, and we believe in Trinitarian doctrine that Jesus himself is God. That is, God sent his son, God sent himself to die for what you and I did against God. And God gave everything. He gave Jesus, his everything to buy us back. And when that happens, my boldness comes from not what I do, but what Jesus did. There is no me to protect and preserve. I don't care. That's what the Bible says. Don't count the cost. The cost is my living, my career, my money, my family, my public reputation. Nicki Minaj gave it up and said, I will protect the faith in Christ of my fellow believers in Nigeria. Josh Hawley comes out and says, though I'm this ripped guy in this very short t-shirt, there is no me. There's only Jesus. He purchased me. If you're still under the weight of sin and death, I hope you'll consider him. If the Holy Spirit's touching your heart and convicting you of your sin, lean into it. Let him do what he wants to do. And finally, I said I would end on this great happy note. A lot of people are going, oh, Doug, Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, they blow it. Trump can't wait to update his administration. Here's the claim. New White House is preparing for possible turnover in the cabinet after President Trump reaches the 1-year mark of his term. In January, at least one of the agencies that could see change is the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Now, is that true? That is so false. Here's Caroline Levitt. This story is 100% fake news. And the White House repeatedly told this to CNN in the strongest possible terms. Yet they wrote the story because their ratings are dying, so they thrive off drama that does not exist. By the way, it's true for almost everyone online, although I'm probably the one that does it the least, which is why I lost so many subs telling you the truth about Epstein. The truth is, President Trump could not be happier with his cabinet. Shame on you, CNN. That's actually good news. It means Trump's finally got the right team, and he's winning. Trump would dump them if he was losing, and let everyone who has criticism about Pam Bondi, you can go talk to Trump. I don't know why you disagree with MAGA so much, why you disagree with America winning, why you disagree with the Republican Party and Donald Trump, who took a bullet for all of us. I don't know why you're fighting against him. Kash Patel is awesome. Dan Bongino's doing amazing work. Do you know what people are angry at? That these people are not following tabloid, cultural, rumor, and conspiracies is the only criticism against Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Trump administration, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, all these incredible, incredible people. And I'm saying I'm thankful and happy. I love being on the right team. I love that our team is winning. How about you? Are you happy? Did you call Chapter yet? Call my sponsor. Write that number down and give him a call in the morning, 631-961-8696, I believe it is. And of course, subscribe, because I got a lot more videos coming. I'm Doug in Exile.